It's almost afternoon. It's approximately 11 o'clock a.m. on April 21st, 2025. Grand Rising. I pray everybody's having a positive, productive start to your day today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High help you with that today. I also pray that He clothes us in His armor from head to toe, that He strengthens our discernment and guides our steps as we go throughout this day. We're going to start out with a morning mantra, and then we'll just pick and choose from there, okay? Oh, wow. We just got this one the other day. We've gotten this, I think this makes the third time we've gotten this one. The right thing to do isn't always the easy thing to do, but it's easier to know I did it than to hate that I didn't. So, I think we talked about it yesterday, the feelings of regret, woulda, shoulda, couldas. And then I have compassion for grumps. It's not easy to have a bad day, and even harder to be a permanent poo-poo head. It's an angry owl. I think we all have those moments where we get stuck in that funk of just being angry, but there are people that, go there and stay there. So it's important to be aware of the own energy that we're carrying. Let's see. We'll do the chakras. We'll get an affirmation. For now, I guess we're just going to keep doing both. When the time is appropriate. I don't have to be at work till 3 today, so I'm not having to rush. We actually got 3. Communication, creative expression, and acknowledge spirit. Grand Rising, happy Monday. Okay. And of course, it flew on the floor. There's 2 of them. Truthfulness and peace. Throat chakra and heart chakra. Truthfulness. I am truthful and honest with myself. I aim to overcome any fears. I'm a bee, buzz, buzz. I aim to overcome any fears about speaking my truth, and I speak in a loving, compassionate way. My personal empowerment comes from telling the truth and letting others know who I am. Others will be positively uplifted when they hear my truth, and I take care not to exaggerate in order to impress them. I am careful not to let my own mind mislead me, and in turn, others. I avoid gossiping or speaking negatively of others. That has a boat cut. I don't know what that means. Grand Rising, happy Monday. And then we got peace. 4th chakra, heart chakra. I will meditate and be peaceful and calm in my interactions with others in the world. Peacefulness comes in me giving up the love of power for the power of love. I invite peace to be part of my life, and I make time to experience my own inner stillness daily. I continually develop an inner sense of calm, and I trust that everything will be right. Feeling good about myself will help bring peace into my life. That goes right along with the truthfulness as far as being honest with yourself. Grand Rising, happy Monday. And that can also be applied to the have compassion for grumps. being the peaceful one and trying to see it from their perspective as to why they are grumpy. You know, being kind to others, being truthful, but doing it in a peaceful, kind, loving way. You know, sometimes we have a tendency to forget that, hey, you know, I have days like that too. You know, none of us are perfect. We all have bad days. We all, you know, just have those days where we don't even want to interact with the world. Like everything pisses me off today. Don't look at me. Don't touch me. Don't talk to me. You know, some have those days more than others, but we all have them. So looking at things from a peaceful perspective and being truthful about whatever the situation is. All right, now we'll get chakra oracle. So we have the chakra affirmations, and now we have the chakra oracle. This is still a relatively new deck, but it's nice to see whether they align or not. The last time we pulled from this deck, we got crown chakra. You got good stuff for Easter? Nice. I did too. I got a fence put up for my fur babies. Some friends came over and we didn't necessarily cook out. The food was cooked before ahead of time. But nonetheless, we all hung out and listened to music and put a fence up for my fur babies. So it was a good day. I'm glad you had a good day as well. Gratitude. Look at that. Gratitude. The color blue. Or no, that's supposed to be purple. Yeah, see, I had a feeling that was going to be like that. Okay, so the sixth chakra, that's the chakra that we got yesterday. Or day before yesterday, I think, actually. Okay. Seeing the unseen. Keywords: guidance, intuition, secrets, integrity, knowledge, spirituality, inner child, mystery, and dignity. The sixth chakra represents our sixth sense. All the cards in the purple color ray, indigo, and violet appear in this chapter. The brow chakra, also known as the third eye, houses all that is hidden within, including our intuitive knowing. The cards often reveal family agreements made before you were born and karmic issues which you have brought into the world to work out. The sixth chakra reveals your intuitive focus and your inner knowing. The cards in this chapter may reveal the behaviors you've either inherited or unknowingly chosen to copy from your family of origin. Wow. This reflects where you are in terms of your own awareness and reveals your willingness to do your own soul searching. I believe yesterday the Archangel card that we got was the Dark Night of the Soul. So that usually does involve like going into hermit mode. Are you living your past into the future? Faith is the unspoken element here. All intentions are fulfilled with the help of spirit. Wow. That actually came up in a conversation yesterday talking about, your motive behind it, like your intentions. Why are you doing it? What's truly in your heart? We did get the heart chakra. Being able to do that brings a lot of peace, a lot of inner peace. All right, Lucy from Indigo. I'm so glad you are in my life. The legend. Lucy's best friend writes a letter to Lucy's unborn child. She does this so that one day the child will understand how extraordinary her mother is. Lucy is a friend from Indigo, someone who always supports, never judges, always sees the good side of whatever the circumstances, and uplifts all those around her. In the letter, her gratitude for Lucy shines through. Wow, what did I talk about? About being understanding of other people and whatever the circumstances. All right, inspiration. Gratitude raises our vibration to a higher level. If you are unhappy in any relationship, Lucy reminds you that it is always in your power to change it. There is no mystery to being a good person. Good people just do good things. Personal inquiry. Who is the person I admire most? Why and how can I live at that level? Key ideas: friendship, deep love, pregnancy, nurturing, unconditional love towards self and others. Keywords: appreciation, recognition, and self-esteem. Meditation. For the next 10 days, spend a few minutes each day making a gratitude list. Do not look at the previous day's list when you begin each day. At the end of 10 days, read the list. Notice what keeps coming up. Are you on your list? Wow. So that kind of goes with what we already talked about, being truthful with yourself about what you need, but at the same time, being able to offer that peace and truthfulness and understanding to other people. If you notice in the imagery, each woman has a plant coming from her feet, and it goes up and around their body, and then it comes back, and both of them wrap around the heart. So, like unconditional love for yourself and others. All right. Having a truthful heart, but having a peaceful heart. Having compassion for others and for self. I'm trying to remember to put the cards from yesterday back up as I'm using the different decks. It's a new routine I'm trying to get into. Okay. Now we'll do the angel numbers and the celestial insights. Actually, let's do a namaste first. The Namaste Stress Less deck. I really like this one. Nice. I've seen the ones that do that. Don't they have chickens that do, little chickens that do that too? I think so. Jacob the Bee. Interesting name. Okay. Wow. One flipped over in my hand, and I think one went on the floor. Crack a routine. It's not about the destination. It's about the experience. All right, crack the routine. We all like established routes that are familiar and efficient. The problem is when we get caught up in the same cycle, we reduce our ability to bring new things into our lives that we can learn from. Crack a routine today. It could be something as simple as how you make breakfast or get ready for work. If you want to take it up a notch, try talking to people whom you rarely engage with. See if you can cultivate a new relationship. Changing a routine can help bring new wonders into our lives and help us integrate new perspectives that allow us to learn and grow. Learning other people's perspectives, interacting with other people, offering compassion, just in, adding some spice to the day, talking to different people, talking about different things, changing things up a little bit. That's something that I've been trying to do a little bit more of the last couple days. Like I try to see now that I have the fence up, I don't really have to worry about that so much. But let me go see. All right. All right. Hey. All right, that's enough. Of course, there's somebody outside doing something for the apartments. Okay, it's all right. They've been outside pretty much all morning. All right, it's not about the destination, it's about the experience. You don't need to be somewhere or have something to be happy. The experience, the experience is always more memorable than the actual destination or object you desire. If you think more about the destination than the actual journey, then you will miss out on all the lively and lovely experiences while on the way. Don't measure success by where you have been, but by where you have learned in your journeys. What you have learned in your journeys. Be aware of how you quantify success. Becoming aware of your thought patterns allows you to reduce them. By reducing our thoughts, we have more time to be in the present. Lord help. Copper, that's enough. Okay. I mean, I don't really like fussing at them for barking because that's what they're supposed to do. But at the same time, sometimes he gets a little carried away with it. All right. Now we'll get an angel number card. I didn't put that other one back in there with it. All right. Angel number. Yesterday it was 11. All right. $85.85. Gratitude. We have gotten that recently. Gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude. Patience, gratitude, abundance, perspective, success, appreciation, and ripple effect. Focusing on gratitude shifts our perspective from what we lack to what we have and can achieve. This positive mindset attracts more positivity into our lives, creating a ripple effect of abundance and success. What am I grateful for today? And how can focusing on these aspects enhance my overall sense of abundance and success? Take a moment each day to list 3 things that you are grateful for. Reflect on how these positive aspects impact your life and how they can inspire further abundance and success. So that's the second time that it's talked about making a list of things that you're grateful for. And also, this suggests writing as well. The right thing to do isn't always the easiest thing to do, but it's easier to know I did it than to hate that I didn't. $85.85. 8 and 8 is 16. 5 and 5 is 10. 16 and 10 is 26. 26 breaks down to an 8. So 8's 21:33 on the timer when I looked. Gratitude. We talk about it here all the time. Being grateful for all the little things. Expressing that gratitude if it involves another person. Was there just one of those? I guess so. All right. Now we'll get a celestial insights. Crack a routine. Do something different. Practice showing gratitude in a different way. Maybe by making the list. That's actually something that's been coming up. Making a list of things that you're grateful for is along the same lines of making a list of pros and cons. Yes, I may not have this, but I have this. Or, just that perspective shift. I may not have what I want, but I've got what I need type mentality, Let go love. Letting go of past love opens the door to new possibilities. Are you holding on to an old relationship? Release it, and you'll find peace and the potential for new love. We did get heart chakra, peace, coming to peace with things that have happened in the past. Understanding, we talked about it a little bit last week, sometimes it may seem like overthinking something, but it's about processing it, breaking it down, understanding why this really happened, taking the emotion out of it. Because when something hurts us deeply like that, like emotionally just, breaks our heart, there's a process it takes that you have to go through before you can get to the point of looking at the situation without emotions involved. Like you have to go through so much of the healing process before you can look at it practically and realistically instead of looking at it emotionally. Because when we look at it emotionally, it's like reigniting that, reopening that wound, And it's not until we get to the point where you can talk about it or think about it and break it down. You can't do that until you can look at it from a non-emotional perspective. 24:54 when I looked at the timer. Renewal on the bottom of the deck. You are entering a phase of renewal and fresh energy. Have you been feeling worn out? It's time to refresh yourself. Whether by resting or changing your environment, new energy is on the way. So we've been talking about that a lot lately too. It's springtime. In reality, this is the beginning of the year. This is the new year. This is when, all the wildlife is up and busy buzzing around, and, all the natural plants are blooming and growing, and, it's, and surrender. Surrender, that lines up with the let it go. Sometimes letting go brings the greatest change. Are you feeling out of control? Surrender to the flow and trust in the universe's plan. Peace will come when you release your grip. That goes back to the chakra card, the heart chakra, peace. Finding your inner peace, finding out what's stopping you from experiencing that inner peace. And then okay, I used to talk about this a lot. Sometimes, we think that we've completely healed from something because it kind of, I guess the best way to say it was it kind of goes dormant. There's nothing around to trigger us. We go in hermit mode a lot of times. Or we're just not in environments where whatever that is going to get triggered. And then when we do get put in a situation where it's triggered, it's almost like you get overwhelmed because you think that you've already dealt with this. And you may have to a certain level, but there's levels to it, The heart is a very tender thing. And, sometimes that gentle process takes a while. Made me think of, we're not given more than we can carry. So we have to get it in small doses. If we were to get it all at once, we would go mad. I think that has literally happened to people in the past. They go too far down the rabbit hole and they can't get back up. They get so much information so fast that they don't have time to process it all spiritually or, mentally. All right, we're going to get an angel of abundance. Showing gratitude, having gratitude for the lessons learned, the things that we need to let go of. It's not only, physical things. It could be a state of mind. Like, I'm thinking of like fight or flight. Some of us have been in that fight or flight energy for so long that, we don't even realize that we're in it. Cooperation instead of competition. This makes the third time we've gotten this in the last week. Cooperation instead of competition. Dreams of abundance. Face your financial fears. Something I'm noticing with these, they're green and blue, just like the chakra cards, green and blue. And this one is a shade of blue as well, but it's more like a gray blue. As you sleep, God, your angels, and your higher self are giving you divinely guided ideas, answers, and solutions. Be sure to record your dreams in a journal. because they contain valuable insights that will help you manifest your desires into reality. Once again, journaling, we got the gratitude list twice. In the picture of the mantra, it's a planner. It says adds reminder to day planner. And then you got journaling here. So, getting more organized, setting intentions, recording, keeping track of things. Face your financial fears. This has children in it. And this one, it looks like she's sleeping in a tree. And there's, I don't know if those are necessarily angels, but there's a woman playing a violin. And I don't know what this one's doing back here, but that's very interesting imagery. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. This camera doesn't really focus very well on these cards. Ooh, and look, there's a face right there. See that face? Okay. Anyways, when you are honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you, in fact, have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and realized these self-doubts. The little boy and little girl are walking in like a creek, a little stream. So the way I'm seeing that is like, growing up with a certain mindset about money. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier about the mindset. And, sometimes the things we need to let go of aren't necessarily physical things, but ways of thinking. So like thinking in a state of lack. That's saying basically not to do that, to let go of that fear. All right, cooperation instead of competition. We've gotten this. This makes the third time. What's yours is yours and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete, as there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. So this could even like be like letting go of doing everything on your own. Like surrendering to the fact that maybe that hermit mode is over. We talked earlier about being in hermit mode and, really examining where our lives are at in this season. I think I talked about it the other day. For me, Easter is like the official beginning of spring. Technically it starts like at the beginning of April, but because of the climate in my area, it takes a couple weeks for us to catch up. All right, now we'll get an herbal astrology. Our last time pulling from this deck, it was Skull Cap. I wasn't really familiar with skullcap. I had heard of it, but I honestly can say I don't think I even knew what it looked like. The flowers that it shows on the card are purple. I like all flowers, but purple flowers especially. Okay. Herbology. Elder. And Bobzinia. Bobinsana. Bobzinia. I don't really know. And then Elder. Card number 28 and card number 8. So again, the number 8. Wisdom and trust. This one has like a weird pocket watch. And these little twirly things look like the DNA spiral thing. And there's like a ancestor in spirit. Hummingbirds. Wow, there's a whale in the sky. A full moon. The lot of imagery in that card. Is pocket watch, this like timepiece over here. And then here's the elder right here. And then the elder card. This has got fairies and cherubs. And then the tree. Trust, upright, self-love, heart retrieval, ultimate state of receivership, gratitude, reciprocity, and compassion. Astrological ruler, Moon and Neptune. In the Shipiboy tradition, this plant is a highly respected master teacher that contains a plethora of medicinal benefits for the body, mind, and spirit. Native to the Amazon basin, many call the herb mermaid. Beautiful paintings found in the Amazon among shamans depict her as a goddess, a deeply creative feminine spirit who has masterful healing abilities, which assists us in healing wounds of the heart, past relationships, grief, loss, sadness, abuse, and melancholy. It is often prescribed by a healer to heal wounds from childhood, for soul retrieval, or to heal a stunted soul that left fragments of itself in a painful past. Wow. Whether used as a single plant during specific cleanses for purification and spiritual awakening, or brewed as a tea, it assists in deeply amplifying heart energy to experience the transcendent power of love, empathy, compassion, oneness, and freedom from pain. It also grants the powers of expansive intuition and lucid dreaming. Wow, we even got the card talking about writing down your dreams. Many users, when ingesting it or otherwise, or alongside other ceremonial brews, experience time differently, as if the barriers between waking life and dreaming get washed away. Ooh, I just got chill bumps down my back. It is said that these transcendent experiences of love beyond space and time are what allows for miraculous heart healing. Guidance. Its bright pink flowers bathe the energy body with the softness of light, awakening the inner pathways to unconditional self-love. It reminds us that love is the highest state of receivership, reminding us not to forget the necessary power of self-love. It assists us in rediscovering forgotten places within ourselves, retrieving fragments of our heart seeking healing. Ask yourself, where in my heart's memory can I bring wholeness to? This medicine is like that of whales and hummingbirds, the joyous record keepers of the sacred that assist us in assessing the reservoirs of the cosmic heart. Serenita is reminding you to pay close attention to the messages encoded in dreams, synchronicities, and symbols that surround you right now. Through those doorways, you can further explore the great mystery of your heart's desire. We got heart chakra. We got throat chakra. Then how to spell it is Bobinsana, just in case you want to look it up. And then elder was number 28. We're at 42 minutes. Rising from the underworld, release, letting go, major transformation, higher wisdom, new perceptions, awakening to the truth. Astrological ruler, Jupiter and Pluto. Also known as the Queen of Fairies or the Queen of the Underworld, elder is steeped in folklore and legend across many cultures. This tree is a symbol of sorrow, death, and deep magic. In Scandinavia, the tree is inhabited by a spirit called Elder Mother, like from Pocahontas, who will punish you if you touch the tree or chop it down without properly thanking her. In the Bible, the cross on which Jesus was crucified was said to be made from the wood of a giant elder tree, and a remorseful Judas hung himself from an old elder tree. In the Middle Ages, elder was used as protection against witches, evil spirits, and underworldly entities. In Celtic tradition, the elder is associated with Samhain, a time of year to honor death. I'm saying that wrong. A time of year to honor death, new beginnings, and transformation. It has been used since ancient times as a blood cleanser, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, used for the kidneys, liver, and digestive system. It is also used as a respiratory aid to prevent or recover from colds and flu. Astrologically, since elder encompasses the piercing duality of life and death, along with supernatural properties, it falls under the general rulership of Pluto. To properly reap its medicine requires wisdom, and if improperly used, it may cause death. When its wisdom is properly harvested, its strong protective action on the immune system also greatly embodies Jupiter's archetype. Guidance. Elder signals the end of a phase in life as well as the beginning of a major cycle. The queen of the underworld reminds us of the symbolic death that visits us often as we progress through our physical and metaphysical growth. Elder reminds us of the blooming we experience when we simply allow our old self to decompose. In giving new life, the old one needs to be torn apart and allowed to die. Don't resist it. Elder is a wise guardian, assisting us as we step through the doorways of darkness. Allow yourself to be consumed by her mighty presence, as the Dark Mother protects our spirit as it goes through the cycles of transformation. That is very well represented in the old Disney movie Pocahontas. She goes to the elder tree. Okay. Wisdom. Trust and wisdom. Trust where life is leading you. Trust where spirit is leading you. Take the time to surrender. Be grateful for the lessons learned. Stay positive and patient and truthful and peaceful as things start to change. You know, what we had in weeks past kind of leads up to that. You know, it talked about change and, you know, being able to experience that death and rebirth of ourselves, of, you know, nature, of society. Okay. Now we'll get an affirmator's affirmation, and then we'll get an Animal Allies Birds card. We are at 4707. Joy, power, and impermanence. We just got impermanence yesterday. Joy and power. Don't let power take your joy. To enjoy something, I simply need to add joy to it. Joy is like butter. I can put it on anything, and it'll make it way better. Today, I will add joy to everything. Really slather it on. Today, I am the Orville Redenbacher of joy, and life's popcorn is about to get it. How cute. So use joy like you do butter. Turn some frowns upside down. All right, power. I am strong, I am grounded, I am powerful. I am like a cross between a dinosaur and a tank, but not a tank that is used for war. I'm like a peaceful, loving dino tank who feels so strong it doesn't need to do anything but be. Knowing that you have the power, like to change your perspective, like to change how you perceive things around you, like finding the positive in a negative, or, you know, spreading joy, having the power to do good things. And then impermanence. Life is always changing. Good things to come on the bottom of the deck. Joy and power. I got that joy, 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 joy down in my heart. childlike joy, finding the joy in the little things in life. Joyful gratitude, like expressing gratitude can increase your joy. I was just 11:53 real time. All right, now we're going to get an Animal Allies Birds by Jessica Swift. Oh, did I tell you guys that I made some homemade mouth rinse yesterday? Sure did. I juiced a bunch of citrus, and so I took the peels and put them in a crock pot with some water and some cloves and some rosemary and stinging nettle and something else. And I brought it to a high heat for a couple hours, and then I turned it down on low all night. Turned it off this morning. Clove is very good for oral health. It helps with things like gingivitis and bad breath. All right, we got penguin and swan. Penguin. Dreaming, astral projection, adaptability, family, using standard skills in unusual ways, community, innovation, and persistence. Penguin wisdom. There are always ways to find new uses for established skills. Repurposing the familiar to make something new as a good use of effort and time. When penguin appears, pay attention to your dreams. Practice trying to direct them before you fall asleep or when you're in a liminal state. The very same skills needed for directing your dreams can alter your waking life too. It already said something about our dreams. Penguin wants you to know it's possible this whole life thing is all a dream. Make it what you want it to be. Last time we got that card, I told the story about how I have a memory of my great-grandfather and me, and he told me that life was all just a dream and that when we die, we actually wake up. So, I've carried that memory with me for a long time. All right, swan. Inner beauty, emotional sensitivity, grace, self-assuredness, transformation, and fierce loyalty. The way a person reacts to things often reveals more about how they feel about themselves than anything else. Recognizing where one can grow or shift is a skill that can be cultivated. When swan appears, believe that real change is possible. Empower yourself and those you care about by acknowledging the possibilities that small steps forward can bring to fruition. We talked about that last week. Setting smaller goals that eventually will get you to the bigger goal. Swan wants you to know, consider giving the gift of a fresh start to someone in your life, including yourself, if you'd like one. The grace you offer others is a beautiful thing, but don't forget to save some for yourself. That goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the video, 54:44 on the timer. Giving that truthfulness and that peace and that unconditional love to others, but also remembering to give it to yourself. we've seen both of those cards before. Penguin more than once. All right, we'll do a crystal card. Then maybe animal spirit, and then we'll get into the Archangel and the Mary Magdalene. I hope everybody's having a positive, productive day today. The weather's kind of gloomy in my area. I think we got some bad rain and stuff blowing in. But I tried to make use of the morning. I went out and dug up a few plants. Rearranged my plants on the front porch so they don't get blowed off. All right, explore the universe of gems and minerals. Red spinel, S-P-I-N-E-L. Action, courage, and energy. Crystal fact. An enormous wine red spinel adorns the front of Britain's imperial state crown. There we go. And Jasper was stuck to it. Stability, wholeness, perseverance. I felt like there was another one that flipped over, but I don't think so. Rose quartz on the bottom of the deck. Love, joy, and connection. All right. Action, courage, and energy. Confirmation. All right, now we'll get an animal spirit and we'll get into the oracles. 57:54 on the timer. Red is also the color that represents the root chakra. All right. Maybe not. There we go. And of course, it fell on the floor. Dragon. That's a spirit card. You know, it even speaks of dragons in biblical text. I'm a firm believer that dragons did/do exist. Seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching, us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. Once again, surrender, let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride. And as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. The dragon and the third eye. The subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center in the Manipura chakra, the city of hidden gems. And behind its gates burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions. The third chakra, which is like your belly button, that's your solar plexus, represented by the color orange, yellow. Yeah. There's a lot of scientific evidence behind or correlating gut health with mental health. That's been an ongoing topic of conversation for years. Now they just have, they've been doing it long enough to where they actually have evidence to prove it. All right, now we'll get an Archangel Fire Oracle. Yesterday we had card number 1, Surreal, talking about the dark night of the soul. Death, that's the same thing as me talking about the death and rebirth. We all go through multiple in our lives where we grow and we change and we learn and we heal. And so we become different people. We let go, we surrender, we find companions, we find teammates, we find peace. We're different people in peaceful environments than we are in tense environments. I just heard when I was talking just then, it sounded like something was beeping in my right ear. I'm going to have to go back and see if that was actually something on the video, if you guys could hear it. Archangel Michael, card number 23. Michael in the house. Archangel Michael. In reality, archangels just represent different parts of ourselves. We ourselves can wear the armor, just like the physical representation depictions of these angels. Michael, courage and protection. Probably the most well known of all the archangels, beloved Michael is the angelic protector, your personal bodyguard. He infuses you with courage and will ensure you and those you love are kept safe. Ask him to cut any negative cords, to relieve tension, and bring peace. We got the peace card to your family and friends, and to watch over you and your loved ones. The angelic policeman, if you see a police car go by or witness a fight or argument, send Michael to help to surround the situation and his powerful transmuting flame to resolve any conflict. Michael's color is a vibrant cobalt blue or indigo. Didn't our story in the Chakra Wisdom talk about indigo? The gratitude. You may see blue sparkles when he's around you. Whenever you feel afraid, uncertain, or need a little extra courage, call on Michael to wrap his blue cloak around you and shield you from harm. Many years ago, I was home in Sydney, Australia, visiting my family when we attended a church service at St. Mary's Cathedral. As soon as we entered the church, I felt Michael's energy wrap me up like a protective force field. My heart began to pound, and I felt an intense tingling sensation spread through my body. I looked up at the altar and was stunned to see Michael materialize in front of my eyes. He was huge and had long blonde hair that was flowing in the breeze, despite the air in the church being perfectly still. He wore a deep blue cape and held a giant sword of light above his head. He was unspeakably powerful and yet gentle, and I experienced the most profound feeling of love and security. Whenever you are going through a rapid or difficult changes in your life, or feel uncertain about your path ahead, call on Michael to reassure you and trust that all will be well. His message: release your fears. You are safe and protected. If you are in a time when you need a little bit more courage, know that I am with you, shielding you from any perceived danger. I feel like that kind of connects with the elder, as far as, knowing that you have protection in the spirit realm, that not all protection is about in the physical realm. Like knowing that spiritual warfare is real, and knowing that, sometimes when we get those feelings, it's for a reason. All right. Michael is the angel of divine will. Think of the meaning of the words willpower, and let those words anchor you in your own sense of inner strength and determination. Imagine what it would feel like to be totally confident and secure in yourself, your environment, and your abilities. Hold on to that feeling and imagine you can amplify it within your stomach area. That's the same chakra we were just talking about. If you wish, you can imagine a swirling indigo ball of light within that location. Now, allow, like a Care Bear. That's what I just thought of. Remember when they shoot the light out of their belly? Now allow yourself to stand up straighter and taller. Bring the focus of your attention to the lower part of your body, such as your belly, legs, or feet, and consciously sink your weight into your physicality. Feel gravity anchoring you, and imagine you are strong, tall, and sturdy like an oak tree. Now you are standing in your power. Even if you don't fully believe it, day by day you will begin to feel more confident and assertive. we got in the crystal card that we got the other day, it did talk about willpower, but this is action, courage, and energy. You know, courage goes right along with willpower. Having the courage to manifest the energy to take the action, like having the courage to set it into motion. You know, we talk about it a lot where, you know, we're hesitant to do things that we want to do because of the way, like maybe it's something that we've already tried to do and in the past it didn't work out. That's where it's talking about the letting go and the surrendering, you know, accepting that whatever situation that was didn't play out, that, you know, we have to be truthful with ourselves and come to peace with how things played out, you know, but having the courage to heal, to have gratitude for the lessons that were learned. Don't let it distract you from where you're going, where you want to go. Don't let it distract you. Being able to surrender it so it doesn't distract you from what's happening now or for what's to come. Being grateful for the things that are yet to come. Having faith. Being at peace with trusting divine timing and having faith that, you know, the universe is working on whatever it is that's happening or that you want to be happening in your life. You know, having that faith, having that assurance that everything's going to be okay. You know, working with things that come natural to you, things that bring out your creativity. We've talked about that before. You know, when we get into a creative place in our mind, like where we're just going with it and we're just doing it, we're not even really thinking about it, we're just doing it. They have scientifically proven that that has the benefits of that as far as, you know, for our mental health. All right, now we'll get a Mary Magdalene and we'll be done. It's 1:12:56 on the timer. Our last card from this deck was Judgment. The whole point is to be human. I hope everybody has a positive, productive day today. If not productive, then peaceful. Lord knows that for a lot of people, that's hard to come by. I actually don't have to be at work till 3. Okay, it's not going to send that. So y'all were probably all up in my grill just then, but that was actually an important message, but I'm almost done, so I'll just respond. Y'all were probably all up in my grill because I was trying to talk into it instead of type it. I thought I paused the video, but I guess I didn't. So, I guess not, seeing as it's alive. I should have known that wouldn't work, but nonetheless, I'm sorry for putting you all up in my grill. All right. What time is it right now? I was just talking to somebody last night about being able to edit the videos, and that's definitely a minute that I'd like to edit out, or really just a couple seconds, but still. I don't know why I did that. I knew it wouldn't pause it. Maybe not. The second power and true love. I trust my soul desires, and all exists through love. True love is what came out first, so that's the one that we're going to read. Page number 84. Another 8. All exists through love. It's important to know that love laced with lack and ego is nothing ever to be ashamed of. Repeat this statement several times if needed. The whole point is being here to be fully human. This means we will fall in love with the wrong people. This means we will be terrified to love the right people. We will do all the wrong things, and this is what's meant to happen. It's brave to break your heart wide open. It's brave to dare to love. It's only in our messy, mixed up, and wildly imperfect attempts at loving that we can practice expanding our capacity to love. We try and fall and try again to love and be loved. And in that effort, over time and with mercy, we begin to let love reach within us where it has never been before. We begin to forgive ourselves and others for things we had judged unforgivable. We begin to see that love is an energetic exchange, a flow, and that miraculously, somehow, the more we give, the more we receive. And we begin to see that this may be the whole point to being here. Feeling all the possible love we could feel, and without any control or contriving, we give it all away, knowing as we do, trusting even, that this inner source of love that we are giving from is actually inexhaustible. The Gospel of Philip says, quote, the companion of the Son is Miriam of Magdala. The teacher loved her more than all the disciples. He often kissed her on the mouth, end quote. If we take this scripture to heart, we realize that Mary and Christ were spiritual partners and companions. We realize that the love between them was meant to be a teaching on the power and possibility of true human love. The Gospel of Philip also says, love refuses nothing and takes nothing. It is the highest and vastest freedom. All exists through love. This is the form of love I believe Christ and Mary shared, a love that is more than love, a love that is the highest and vastest freedom, a love that makes all things possible. Soul Voice Meditation. Who is in my life? Who in my life can I give love to in this moment? You know, and sometimes that person is yourself. Going back to the very beginning, it talks about, we talked about not only showing love and compassion and truthfulness and gratitude and appreciation and trust to others, but to ourselves as well, and also to spirit, our angels, ancestors, spirit guides that are always with us, whether we realize it or not. That energy is always with us. The impact that they had on our lives, the influence that they had on the people that we became. All right. We've gone long enough. We're at an hour and 20 minutes and 12 seconds. As always, be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact that it could have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.